So let me ask you this, right? Getter has become a huge topic of conversation over the last week because one of the guests from Joe Rogan, Dr. Robert Malone, was kicked off of Twitter along with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and so there was a large hubbub. And then Dr. Malone was on Joe Rogan the next day, right after he was kicked off of Twitter. Joe Rogan then posted on his Twitter, "Hey, join me on Getter." The thing. So Getter obviously became huge. I have not signed up for it yet. I think that I probably will. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I haven't done it yet. But along with your question, I wanted to ask you if will or can another platform replace the tech overlords that we have now, right? For a long time, even when we first worked together and when we first started the podcast, I was very much of the mindset of like, oh, this is the private sector. They can do whatever they want, and if you don't like it, then you start your own platform, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And around the time...
I remember that phase.
Right. And around the time that... what was it? Parler was taken down off of the internet. I was like, okay, so that's not a solution. that is not going to work the way that I thought that it was going to work. And so I have shifted, and I'm definitely not in a. We're not going to go into that, but so the mindset have shifted, and I think a lot of people have shifted their mindset a little bit as the attainability of a competitor seems a little bit more challenging, but. Something like Getter that doesn't seem to have the extremist or has not yet been painted with the extremist slander that Parler was was used on Parler. So do you think that it's possible that another platform could come along and dethrone the tech overlords?
So it really depends on what, because the one thing that makes our current platforms as the powerhouse as they are is the way in which we've decided to they've decided to finance their models. What is the business model that they all run under? They all run under ad revenue. They rely on advertisers to pay them a bunch of money so that we can have a free service to upload things and to have exposure. And then along with that deal allows them to kind of have the ultimate keys to the castle and decide what they can and can't do with your info, with your product, right? That you're going to package for them.
Your metadata.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's another product that we didn't even know existed. But I don't know, because I don't know if you can have a platform that is going to be free, that everyone can upload to and view for free without some kind of strings attached. I don't know if it's possible. Social media is a little different, but not really. It's all basically reliant on advertisers and what this company deems is okay for their what's advertiser friendly, what's not. Because that's ultimately what drives most of this stuff. And then, that's always their cover for censorship. It's like, well, it's not advertiser friendly. We don't want to show this because blah, blah, blah.
And to add to that, not to but to add to that, in a world where advertisers are for 1 month a year changing their logos to rainbow flags, and they are, willing to cancel sponsorships with people who maybe said one questionable thing, like I know that a lot of people don't like this term, but like, to use the colloquial term, the cancel culture side of it has affected the sponsorship aspect very heavily, especially over the last 2 years, probably. People who say questionable things, maybe do one thing that's off color, will lose all their sponsorships.
Yeah.
So to add to your point, it's sponsorship in and of itself is so driven by societal pressure now that it's...
Yeah, and I can understand the problematic relationship that causes, right?
Problematic.
But the overall trends to societal pressure and the bottom line dollar amount, eventually those two can balance each other out. We saw this happen with Coca-Cola recently, where they kind of, after a couple of years of running this more woke advertisements and that, I don't know, I don't want to just call it the woke thing, but you know what I mean. They're participating on one side of the culture war versus the other side has not exactly made them a bunch of money, and they decided that, okay, we're not going to do this right now. We're just going back to business as usual. That doesn't necessarily change the fact that the platforms themselves will still continue to act in accordance with what they think is best for their advertisers and whatnot. I would doubt that most advertisers give a shit about what their ad is playing on unless it's something pretty egregious.
Very objectionable
when
content.
it really started, right? When the first adpocalypse, as it was called, really started, this was some ISIS shit. There was some advertisements for like cars or some, you know, some sundry goods, you know, or whatever, playing on an ISIS video. And then everybody's like, oh my God, well now everything must be looked at and examined. And so unless, it's a really, really long way of not answering your question, but unless some platform can develop a business model that is not reliant on ad revenue, it will never change. It is this way until somebody finds a way around that. I don't know how you do that. I don't think anybody else knows how you do that, because otherwise it would exist right now and they'd be the one. If they had zero pressure financially to silence people, to censor people, to play that game, if they had zero financial incentive to do that, why would they open that can of worms in that Pandora's box?
Right.
But can't do it. So I don't know. It might exist, but right now it doesn't. Because at some point, it costs money to do this shit. At some point.
It's very interesting.
So that's my answer.
No, I'm here for it. I like it.
So Getter, you gonna get on Getter though?
I will get on Getter. I'll sign up for Getter. I don't have anything against it. I just didn't do it yet. I meant to do it. Just didn't do it.
By the way, Jake said, digging the studio upgrades, my dudes. He said the wife approves.
Excellent.
So the Ginger Ninja, we got the Ginger Ninja approval. That means
She's got to come in.
That's it. All right, guys, you got to saddle up. Let's do this again.
Come back.
We got lots of room here too. We got lots of room now.
Since Morgan has been on the podcast, and I know that we could have 4 hours of incredible conversation with Morgan here.
Oh yeah,
I know that we could.
We do almost every time we hang out. So
it'd be very good. You get very technical.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very.
I want to talk.
Thought of that.
If I could pick, like the ultimate, like topic, I would want to talk with Morgan about would be education, and like how to do. Like, how do we fix education overall? That would be one of the things that I would love to talk to her about.
Yes.
In depth. Because I think you would have some interesting stuff, too. It'd be a good convo.
Yes.
So, I sense a special coming up at some point.
Yeah, I have always found Morgan's views on education very refreshing. It's very child-focused, which I think is very important.
That's been her background, too. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's and generally... I don't know. That's not
child-focused is something that education is not anymore.
It's good. Her viewpoint is not by the numbers. It's about children. Which I think is very important. So, no, I think that's good. Yeah, no, I would love to have Morgan back in here. It would be excellent. So,
I downloaded, by the way, before we get...
God damn it,
just
Colin.
to continue on to this thing. I did get Getter.
Okay.
I downloaded it.
But you're not signed up for it.
I'm not signed up for it yet. So, it's on the phone.
You've done half the job.
But the problem is, too, I also need a new phone. Storage has become an issue. My iPhone 8 Plus, whatever this is finally really starting to show its age.
What kind of phone are you going to get?
I'm going to get...
What's it going to be?
I don't know yet, which is why I don't have one yet. But it's going to be... I'm imagining Samsung. And it's going to be something that's got some epic cameras on it and some epic storage space, because I do use my phone a ton now for making content. And I will say, shifting away from Apple and not having to convert fucking files is going to be sweet, because there's never going to be a compression issue. There's never going to be there's never going to be an issue, because it's MP4 going to an MP4. And it'll be so nice.
Well, another cool thing about the Samsung phones is you can buy additional memory cards and just slap them right into. So you don't even have to worry about how really big the storage on your phone is.
I can use a USB-C to charge it, like everything else nowadays.
Yes.
Stupid fucking lightning cable, whatever the hell this thing is.
The lightning cord.
I hate it. I hate Apple so much just for wanting to be so different.
Yes.
Which I respect, but also kind of in the world of technology and getting to... What are you staring at through the door?
Comments.
The comments.
The comments. Oh. Apple products are for what?
Galaxy Life, bro. Apple products are for sadists. Oh, Ginger Ninja's punching you for that one.
Yes.
Besides, I do like Apple, but still, it's You gotta be committed to the ecosystem. You know what I mean?
I'm a full double phone shill, and
You are a double phone shill.
Full double phone shill.
But at least you're an Android shill that way, because iPhone ain't gonna beg no double phone. We know that much.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready.